This video is powered by BetUS. What's up, guys? Swift here. We have the full Thursday injury report from the Bears. We get it early thanks to the team being in London, and I have a couple of other news and tidbits to talk about as well. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We had 5 players miss practice today: Tevin Jenkins, Zach Pickens, Terrell Smith, Mercedes Lewis, and Jaquan Brisker. Pickens, Smith, and Brisker have already been ruled out for Sunday's game, so no surprise there. Meanwhile, Mercedes Lewis just has a veteran's rest day, but Tevin Jenkins not practicing is probably the biggest news. Today was a full practice, so Tev not going would indicate that his status for Sunday's game is in doubt. Honestly, I think we should rest Tev in London. I know he wants to prove he can stay healthy, but he's left both of the last 2 games early with injuries, and we have a bye week coming up. I'd rather Tev take this time off, get back to 100% for our big matchup against the Commanders in week 8. On top of that, it will give us a chance to further evaluate Bill Murray. He played awesome in relief of Tev on Sunday against the Panthers, but I'm curious to see how he'd do starting an entire game. This would be a chance for the coaching staff to see what they have in Bill Murray while also letting Tev get back to 100%. I think that would be a win-win situation, and we'd still have Nate Davis, Karan Amagaji, and Doug Kramer to fill in as backups. But we also have an update on Jacob Martin, who has practiced in full in back-to-back days. There's now a chance he could be activated for Sunday's game, but we do have 21 days before that needs to happen, so the team could just be ramping him up to return after the bye week. But Jacob Martin getting healthy is a good sign. Kyler Gordon got in a full practice after being limited yesterday, but it was Tyreek Stevenson who was limited in practice today. We'll keep an eye on that going forward. Also, I want to do a special thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Use code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Head over to betus.com now. BetUS is my sportsbook and casino. Also, we have an update about the Jags who have had their flight delayed 4 hours at least due to Hurricane Milton. They were originally scheduled to fly out this afternoon, but it's now been delayed to late tonight. I already talked about this earlier in the week, but now they are not scheduled to arrive in London until late tomorrow morning. They already have canceled a press conference that was scheduled for tomorrow and delayed tomorrow's practice. Just logically, the Bears are nowhere near the hurricane, and we flew early to London on Monday. The situation in Florida has been awfully sad. The hurricane just went through overnight. Prayers to all the families down there that have been affected by this, but sticking to football, this appears, at least from an outside vantage point, as an advantage for the Chicago Bears. Arriving early and having time to adapt to the time change and settle in, that seems like the smart decision. The Bears will be finishing their 3rd practice in London by the time the Jags will be arriving tomorrow. We will see how this plays out early Sunday morning, but Bears fans all remember when Matt Nagy had us fly over to London late. And once the game got here, we seemed like a team that was still jet lagged, not scoring a single point in the first half. For a brief reminder, we played the Raiders in that game, and we went into halftime down 17-0 before the team finally woke up in the 3rd quarter, scoring 3 straight touchdowns and taking a 21-17 lead. David Montgomery and Allen Robinson got the offense going, but the Raiders would score a late touchdown with Josh Jacobs and win 24-21. Chase Daniel was our starting quarterback that day, and even with Monty, Tariq Cohen, and Cordero Patterson at running back, we could not get the run game going at all, rushing for a measly 2.5 yards per carry and only 42 total yards on the day. That whole team seemed like they were affected by arriving in London late. Hopefully getting there early this time can make a difference. I'd like to see Shane Waldron come out aggressive early on, attack this defense early and often on Sunday morning. The Jags come into this game with the 32nd ranked pass defense in the NFL, dead last against the pass. They are also 31st in total yards allowed and 30th in points per game allowed. This is the perfect opportunity for Caleb Williams to build off his last couple of starts and get into more of a rhythm in London. I already showed off how Caleb has played his last 2.5 games, and it's been a drastic difference from his first 2.5 starts. Through his first 10 quarters, he threw 0 TDs, 3 interceptions, only completed 57% of his passes for 5.2 yards an attempt and a measly 57.6 passer rating. In his last 2.5 games or 10 quarters, he has 5 TDs, 1 interception, completing over 70% of his passes for 7.9 yards an attempt and a 109.8 passer rating. If he can continue building on this in London on Sunday, it might be time to say that Caleb Williams has finally arrived. But he's still a rookie. He's still going to go through his ups and downs, but something has started to click over the last 2.5 games, and now he gets to face the defense that is giving up the most passing yards per game in the entire NFL. I thought Shane Waldron called an awesome game against the Panthers, but now he has to prove himself. The ball is in his court. I want to see more tempo with this offense, and I want to see him attack the Jags secondary downfield. They are giving up 28.6 points per game. We're only giving up 17 points a game. This should be an opportunity for our offense to get going and get into a rhythm. We've played a lot of teams that are really bad against defending the run, but this is our first chance to play a team that really can't defend the pass. So this could be our best opportunity to really get Caleb Williams comfortable and get some of these wide receivers more involved in the offense. Keenan Allen hasn't really gotten going yet, and Romo Dunze's only had one big game. Meanwhile, DJ Moore has a chance to build on his first 100-yard game of the season. Meanwhile, quick update on the Jacksonville Jags. They have not practiced yet today. Their injury report won't be out for a few hours, but yesterday they had 8 players limited in practice, including starting safety Darnell Savage, starting tight end Evan Ingram, starting wide receiver Gabe Davis, and starting linebacker Devin Lloyd. But most of these players do seem like they should be ready to go for Sunday. I'll have the full injury report from both teams out tomorrow after they get in their final practices in London. Quick shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. But I also have my Bears Weekly coming later today. I'll update the pressure charts in the trenches for the O-line and the D-line, update the race to 1,000 yards for the receivers, and check in on Caleb Williams' development. Stay tuned for that. Remember to hit the like button for me, guys. And until next time, bear down.